What is going on? Welcome to episode 121 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 2, Hate Zero. What's up, dude?
What is going on? And what up, NPC fam? It is your boy, Hate Zero, your hero.
Player 3, the Nintendo Guru. What's up, man?
What is up? What is up, man? Dude, it is so awesome to be here. I'm pretty excited about this, and I can't wait to get into this. It's gonna be fun. Thank you for having me so far.
Yeah, dude. I would try to say which podcast you're on or what, but there's just a billion of them.
A lot. I'm on a lot. Just a multitude of different podcasts. I'm not good on any of them. I'm just there. It's good stuff.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, hey. That music you just heard was from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/NPC. There you can pick up, Console Wars, Ready Player One, so many good books. audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. Go to n64josh.com/OP Seat to automatically save $10 on checkout. And they have a back to school sale going on right now, so go check it out. That's n64josh.com/OP Seat. And the last thing I'm going to plug is my book, The Gamer's Guide to Podcasting, is out. It's available. If you want to check out the different options, just get the book, get the audiobook, get the entire book and DLC pack. That's right. You can go to n64josh.com/podcastbook. That's n64josh.com/podcastbook. All right, let's get to the announcements.
Hey, listen.
We do this show live on twitch.tv/n64josh, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I want to say what's up to Rust Belt Kid, Shell Shock Prime, Mr. Cool Red Luigi, Hawks Coach Josh, Rock Redford, Lumberjoke, that's going to get clipped, Pudding, I can't believe that. Hey, everybody. Yeah, just laugh. It's okay. Get it out. It happened. It happened. There you go.
All I know is you told me before the show this is family friendly.
I know.
And then you just
Hawks.
I don't know what that.
Coach Josh. Okay.
Why is everybody naming themselves so difficult for Josh?
I know.
I feel like it's a conspiracy.
Yep. So there you go. Welcome, guys. We're glad you're here. Friday mornings, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as I do a first look where we check out new games. This week we're going to be looking at Earthworms and maybe Bad North. I don't know. We got a couple. I got a few emails out, so we'll see what happens. I do want to let you guys know I'm now streaming 5 days a week starting at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's going for about an hour and a half or so. So if you want to come hang out in the morning, drink some coffee, and watch me play. Well, I don't know what I'm going to be playing. I almost finished Doom today. I streamed Doom for 10 hours from 4 a.m. until 2 p.m. I streamed Doom. I didn't stop. I'm playing on Ultraviolent, and wow. We had some good times, So there you go. That's all that's happening. Let's get to our reviews and impressions.
Here we go.
And actually, before we get to that, Nintendo Guru, we want to know about you, man. Tell us, give us a quick, just history with you and Nintendo. When did it start?
Okay.
What system did you start with? The good stuff.
NES, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I'm old as dirt, so yes, the NES. Favorite game of all time, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I love Kid Icarus. Love all the NES classics. Love the Super Nintendo. That's my favorite console that Nintendo has ever done. Switch is quickly filling that gap. But, yeah, man, I've just been a long-time Nintendo fan since I was 15, I think. 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. I got my first one. And just that's it, man. So, and I, just been doing all this, the stuff that I'm doing just because I love to talk about Nintendo. So that's basically where this all came about. But, yeah.
So because my chat likes to mock me, have you beaten Super Mario 64?
Yes.
Okay. And then
all 120 stars I did.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there the rumor there's more than that or something? But I didn't do anything beyond that. I didn't get. I never played as Luigi and all that nonsense. I I did what I had to do.
I have 42 stars so far. I'm playing it right now. So
Whoa, wait. You haven't beat it? N64 Josh has not beat Superman. I gotta go. It was nice.
Yeah.
Listen, it was nice talking to you guys. Have a good night. Like,
I
come
completely
on,
understand.
dude. Are you kidding me?
no, they're all. It's the playthrough is going up on my YouTube. The last 1 hour Let's Play of Super Mario 64. I had multiple comments saying they've never laughed so hard during a Let's Play. At one point, I'm touching the star and it won't register, and I fall. And I'm like, and I have to go back to a cannon, shoot myself back up. They were like, we were all losing it. I couldn't breathe.
Well, here's the thing. I'll give you props on one thing.
Okay.
You're attempting it now. It's hard now. The camera is garbage. It is so bad. Like, it is it's one of the worst games ever. It really is bad. It has not held up over time. So back then, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now it's like, ooh, this is bad. This is horrible.
So we also have a new question that we're gonna start keeping track of this. We're gonna tally who gets the most votes here: Diddy Kong Racing or Mario Kart 64.
You're asking me.
Yeah, which is better?
Mario Kart 64 all day long.
Okay, that's one.
It's not even a question. Where else he? Look. Diddy Kong Racing was cool for what they did, but it doesn't happen. I've always had this philosophy: like, if something creates something, you go to the original is always the predecessor and the best. So without Mario Kart, there is no Diddy Kong Racing.
Right. I don't disagree with that, but that doesn't mean something can't be better than something else.
Well, there's a phrase I have. I'm just going to throw it at you because this is basically what Diddy Kong Racing is. It's called hot trash in the summer. It is bad. When you're comparing the two, Mario Kart 64 is the granddaddy of them all.
It was the first open world racing game.
We don't need that in our lives.
We absolutely do. Forza Horizon's a prime example of why we need that.
You're talking two different genres. You're comparing Diddy Kong Racing to Forza. Come on now, rein it in.
If we had a modern Diddy Kong, you can see where they would take it.
Okay, so Mario Kart 1, Diddy Kong 0 so far. We'll keep this going, though. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. Okay. You're going to have somebody on your side, I think. So
it'll probably be in about 5 years. If you're still doing this podcast in 5 years, you might find someone that actually.
We got to find somebody whose first system was the DS and their first game was Diddy Kong Racing, and they'll be like, "It's Diddy Kong," because that's where it is. So, okay, and then because I got judged so badly for not playing Mario 64, now you get to sit on the hot seat. What game have you not played, or and maybe you've played all of them, or none that we wouldn't judge you for, or have not completed as a Nintendo game, as the Nintendo guru?
Man, a few Star Fox games.
The bad ones.
There's only been a couple. There's only been like one good one. The rest are pretty bad. But you know what? I'll tell you one. Okay, Super Mario RPG is one that I never completed. I never finished. I got started on it, but that came towards the very end of the Super Nintendo, and I was kind of on to the N64 at that time. So I know there's so many people that love that game, and I'm just like, But, at the time, it was pretty amazing, but I just couldn't get into it.
All right, well, just know that you're currently being judged, so we're thoroughly judging.
Listen, Mr. Super Mario 64, I don't want to hear nothing out of you.
I know. Okay. Now, we're going to get to our reviews and impressions. Eric, what have you been playing?
I did play some Treadnoughts. Other than that, it's pretty much just been a little game. You probably heard of it, Octopath. And
Mario Tennis. We saw you doing some more Mario Tennis.
I guess I forget that I jump on that every now and again. Yeah, I'm still playing Mario Tennis. I won't stop playing Aces. I love the game. It's fun. It's competitive. So, yeah. those are the three right now.
Any impressions on Treadnuts?
Yes. If you have a party, I think that game could be a ton of fun. It reminds me of Worms, or if any of you played Gunbound, it was a PC game, popular in 2008 or something. It was a ton of fun, kind of similar to that in some regards, but it doesn't have online, and it just doesn't have a whole lot of depth. So unless I'm playing with people, I can't imagine I'm going to sink a ton of time into it.
Nintendo Guru, how about you, bud? Any games you've been playing this past week that you can let us know
Dead Cells, I've been playing like crazy.
Okay.
Love that game. Like, that game has really got its grip on me, man, big time. Like, I'll just go out in the living room and roguelike game, you know, and I'll go out in the living room and I'll play like for 20 minutes and then just put it down, walk away, and then go back and give it another run. And it's kind of crazy because I just keep getting further and further and further each time I do a run, and I'm like, eventually I'll get this. But it's so when you start to get the combat, it is so good. It's kind of fast and fluid, I think is the catchphrase what people are saying. But also Bomb Chicken I've been playing. That's really, really good. I just got that this week and started playing a little bit. That's pretty much the newer games I've been playing.
Cool. So thanks to Super Nintendo, he bought me Minute while I was doing my first look. So we checked that out. It's a black and white. It almost looks like an Atari game. Like it almost like it barely looks 8-bit. It's you have 1 minute. You have 60 seconds to go and make progress, and then you die and you start over. So maybe you find a key, and then that key unlocks a door that you've scoped out, and then you do that. You just keep going. And it's kind of got some charm to it. Like I was surprised. I want to dig a little deeper into it, but my initial impressions are it's a good one. So worth checking out. Treadnuts, same kind of thing. Like, thought it was great. If it had online, it would have been even better. Once I started getting into it and realizing you can play against bots and stuff, because it was a little confusing in the menus and stuff.
Yes, that took me a good 5 minutes. I'm like, so you just can't play this game by yourself. You only get to do missions or whatever they're called, target practice.
I hooked up a second controller so that I could turn the player 2 into a bot, right? Because I'm like, you don't have to do that. You could just you could turn each one, then you're actually
Y.
something like that, and then you're actually player 4. But and that game was provided to me by the developers, and it's if you got people to play with, absolute blast. And I did the challenges, like the little challenges that they have. The best I could get was 1 star. Like, they want you to do some of these things in like 5 seconds, and I was like, no way! Like, I was struggling to get 1 star. I think we did like 2, maybe 3 maps, and like the chat was like, "This is impossible. You're never doing this. This is impossible." So, we did a little bit there, and then lastly, I jumped into not lastly, I did finally get the physical copy of Dead Cells came in.
Nice.
Here's what I'm going to say about Dead Cells. Everybody loves this game, right?
Don't say nothing bad.
I love the graphics. I love the controls. I love the music. Man, I love the music in that game. The acoustic guitar, like, so good. What doesn't grab me is the style, that genre, that, like, just run and die. Like, I want to explore the map and, like, learn where stuff is. Like, people complain about like backtracking in Metroid. These roguelikes or roguelites, it's like nothing but backtracking. It's like all you do. It's like one long backtrack.
Yeah, it's the crazy thing is it's you basically got to beat the game without dying is what it boils down to. Mm-hmm. You know, but the one thing I like about this, other than other roguelike games, is you can acquire abilities that stay with you, where once you beat the first boss, all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, this is like Metroid. And that's what pulled me in. The minute I started to open up and be able to go into areas that I couldn't get to before, I was like, now we're talking. Now I'm in. And that was the hook. So I think that's just give it a little bit more time. But I think you might turn around on it.
And that's what everybody's saying. Just keep going.
Yeah.
I want you to clear a few things up for me. This shouldn't be spoilery.
Mm-hmm.
I now start. There's all these hanging jars.
Yeah.
And 4 of them have items in them.
You're not going to be able to get them. That's stuff that you have unlocked, and you can unlock when you play, but you can't get. That's what I thought too. I'm jumping and swinging. I'm like, I can't reach them. Why can't I reach them? You're not going to get them. So just move on. What it is it's showing you the weapons that you've created and unlocked, and you have the ability to continue to get them via treasure chests and other things like that.
Okay. So now.
So maybe I'll further explain a little better. You'll go through and you'll find these blueprints.
Yep.
And when you get to the guy that like will allow you to like buy them, that's when they go in them jars.
You lock them in.
It's because you've accomplished the blueprint. You've got it where it is, and I think that's also where it starts to get better because these weapons start to become available, and it's like, okay, now I'm starting to get the better weapons, and we're starting to go through this thing.
Okay.
So it's good. I think it'll come around for you.
So I don't want to come across like everything about the game is amazing. It's just that genre is not like I'm having to kind of like force myself to keep going because I'm like, I don't feel a big hook. That's what it boils down to. If
you're a fan of Metroid, the minute you hit that feel, that'll pull you right in.
Cool.
Because that's the moment you go. Because I'm a huge old school Metroid's one of my favorites. The 2D stuff and all that stuff. Once that feel hit me, it was like, oh my god, this game is me. I'm in, and that's I'm not normally like that. Like it normally takes me a little bit, but this game, the minute I had where I was like, oh my god, I can get there again, and this opened this up, boom, I just fell right in love with it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So I'm not giving any scores whatsoever right now because I need to dig in, and I haven't found anybody to copy. No, the last game I checked out was the demo for Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. It's available on the Switch right now, and I mean, it is. You can tell it's a DS port, but it looks clean. It plays smooth. If you've been playing Monster Hunter on the 3DS and you've had to use the little nubbins as a C stick, that thing is so it's so bad. I'm glad it's there, but like trying to use it to actually move a camera, you're like, am I not pressing hard enough? Do I need to? What's the deal here? Having that second stick felt amazing. Amazing. So
there's a reason, Nintendo, that most laptops don't have that nub anymore. But Josh, can you help me with this? And maybe Nintendo Guru, you can help me. I don't understand the appeal. There's nothing about Monster Hunter that makes me want to play it. I don't want to hit a monster 6,432 times. I don't see the fun. So I pre-ordered it, right? I bought it. And the whole reason is because I want to play with Joe after work, who's here in the chat right now. I love Joe. Sure. And so it gives me the ability, because I've played Monster Hunter in the past, and I was where you are. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I playing this game? This game is garbage. I don't know why I'm even here. But there was always this thing that was like, there's got to be something I'm missing. And then watching Joe play World, I was like, okay, this would be fun to play with people that know what they're doing that can kind of teach you properly. That's my hopes with this one, is that I can get with a group of friends. I view it like the Fortnite effect. I played Fortnite on Xbox, hated it, thought it was the dumbest game in the world. Like, what's the hype on this thing? Then it hit Switch, and I started playing with people, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the second coming of Christ. This is the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? So, and it's because of the social aspect. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm hoping happens here is when you get a good group of guys or girls or whoever you're playing with, and you start playing, it's like, all right, I got you now. This is going to be awesome. So that's, for me, that's my aspect. Josh might have a different take, but that's my take.
So I tried Monster Hunter back on the PSP and had no clue what I was doing, right? Because, I mean, I had no clue. I'm like, this is not my game. so I didn't play it. And then 3 came out on the DS and the Wii U. And for some reason, my younger son started getting into it. So in order to, have a game that we could play together, I got into it. We ended up getting a second Wii U so that we could play online together, do voice chat, use the correct controller.
Hold on, wait. You can voice chat on the Wii U?
Yeah, you
How's
could.
that work? You have to call somebody with the landline and then
You plug headphones into the tablet. It's just like
What?
It's just like the Switch.
No, that's like future stuff. That's not real.
Yeah, but it has to be into the tablet, so or the gamepad. But so we started getting into it, and I never played it correctly, meaning you can go through and do what's called key quests, and do X number of quests, and then go to the next level, become HR. You start at like no level, and then you become HR1, HR2, or I can't remember. I'm not that into it, but eventually now, like on Generations on my DS, I'm like HR20. Okay. And so after 8, then it just based on how many monsters you kill. And so, but the draw is you jump in with 4 people. And if you do have communication and stuff, that makes it a lot of fun. And you're trying to hunt these things so that you can get the gear that you want from them, right? So you get the resources from the monster. Like you may have to cut its tail off. You may have to make sure you smash its horns, whatever the case may be, so that it drops a certain item. You may have to trap it instead of killing it. And it's just boss fights.
One more thing that looked very off to me.
Yeah.
It loads every 12 to 14 seconds. What's up with that?
Between so the way the map works on the Generations, which is different than World, right? World was obviously made for the newer systems in PC. Yeah. That's one giant map that you walk into. In these older games, your map is broken up into a bunch of little islands, more or less, and each one you walk into loads in. Now, one of the benefits to that is, let's say we're fighting a monster and my health gets down super low. I can actually leave that area, load into the next map, heal up away from the beast, and then come back in. Whereas in Worlds, you don't have that. It can chase you down, and they like to target you when you're healing. So, so it's one of those games that like you have to know going into it. It's a big time investment, right? Like I don't even play it.
Hours plus.
Yeah, I don't even play it correctly, and I'm at 40 hours. Right, and that was, I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. But here's the thing: if you're thinking about picking this one up, I'm planning on doing as many, especially when the game's new, a bunch of Monster Hunter streams where I can help, because I'm going to be able to carry over from what I have done on the DS and be able to help people that like, because when you first all start out, you all have no shields, you all have, or your health is low, your weapons are bad. Well, I'm going to be able to start out at a much higher level, so it kind of can guarantee that you progress, because it can be really frustrating when you jump in and then you all die and nobody gets anything.
I hate to be the negative Nancy, although I play the role well. How is it that they are going to allow you to cloud save from the DS to the Switch, but it's taken this long to get this functionality?
Oh god!
Like
it's
like, come on.
I think it's just a file transfer.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
You got to remember,
it's no different than when you move Animal Crossing from the DS to the Wii. It's just a click and everything goes. It's Nintendo has that down. It's the rest of the stuff they're having issues with, but they got that part down. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
Chat's asking, why buy a game that you're already max level in? Well, one, I'm not even close to max level. Like I said, because I've played the game wrong. There's still plenty of monsters I've never even fought. I typically go for the ones I need for the gear I want. And so this is going to be the first time I actually experience the game correctly, and I just play through and help other people. I'll probably still end up playing a lot of things over again, and that's fine. I don't mind. The other thing to remember, in Japan, this game's called Double Cross. It came out on both the DS and the Switch, and you could cross-play with the two of them.
Got it.
Which we were kind of hoping would be, but they're adding so much to this one that it's not going to be possible with Generations on the 3DS. So yeah, there you go. I do have an article up on n64josh.com kind of breaking down some of just the basics of Monster Hunter. If you want to check that out, I'll try to remember to put a link in the show notes. But yeah, it can be a really good time, but it's not the kind of game that you're like, oh, I'm gonna play this for 20 minutes and maybe come back to it next week. You won't get anything out of it because you just have to. Which also, to answer I Dream in Dolby's question of why buy a game, because I won't have to have as much of a time investment in this one. Like, I can jump in, have a lot of fun helping people level up, and then I can dip out for a while. You know what I mean? So
you're getting a head start.
Getting a head start. And I'm actually excited about it. I think because the way that community works is a lot of times you go in as a lower level and you're like, hey, I need help. And people that are real high levels will jump in. And, I would just sit back with my little bow and arrow or whatever, just trying not to take damage, and they're just destroying the thing. Now that I've been able to level up and everything, it's really a fun game. The controls are tricky. It feels very tanky, almost like Resident Evil. Like it's kind of almost like a Capcom vibe in a way, but it's all kind of intentional. It's like it feels like it's part of the. Like it's all part of the big picture where it's like, yeah, this is going to be a struggle. You're fighting something gigantic, and so it all just seems to work. But I think there comes a point with everybody that it's either you're going to love it or hate it. I don't know a lot of people that are kind of just on the fence with it. So
no, it's one or the other. People that love it, it's like a religion for them, and like especially Japan. Japan is like that's it.
Oh yeah,
like they like it's if you remember back in the day, like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, when those games came out, that's how they treat this. It's like a celebration. Everybody takes off at work, and they all just like they live it, man.
Yeah, there's like Monster Hunter advertisements everywhere. Everybody's carrying a DS around. Like it's a big thing. Like not uncommon for people to be like, oh, I have over 3,000 hours in this game, or I have like. Yeah. You're like, what?
It's crazy.
They just love it. So it can have that hook, but. You gotta. It's kind of a big time investment to get to where you feel like you're not necessarily being hunted any longer.
Yeah.
So, all right. With that, we got a fair amount of news. Let's jump into it. Okay. Well, we woke up Monday, and Nintendo Life was reporting a rumored direct because a bunch of indie devs all tweeted out big news coming at the same time. And so it was kind of like, well, something's going down. And then sure enough, I'm like refreshing YouTube. Nothing. 7 o'clock rolls around. Nothing. Super Nintendad's like, it's in the UK. And so we got onto that channel. And then I actually broadcast the little indie highlights on my Twitch channel. And not a small number of games. We got quite a few. I'm going to kind of just go through the list. If there's something you guys want that really piqued your interest, go ahead and just cut me off and we can kind of chat about it. First one is Baba Is You, coming out autumn 2018. Didn't really do much for me, but
I think it's the worst looking game in the world. It looked horrible. I want nothing to do with that game.
Fair enough.
It felt like an Atari 2600 game.
Gotcha.
It felt like E.T. all over again. It was horrible.
Wow.
I'm just being honest. That's just how I felt when I watched it. The trees looked just like the trees in E.T. on the 2600. And I was like, I'm out. I'm getting flashbacks of Nam. I'm out. Can't do this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's heading for a landfill. All right.
Yeah.
Bad North, and it dropped yesterday. And I know Nightcrawler from Discord, from the Smash Bros. Cast, he's played it. he said it was pretty good. He said he would probably go back to it. It starts off a little bit easy and then really ramps up over time. So, did either of you guys get hands on with it?
I did not. It's one that stood out to me that I want to get for sure. It looked really cool because it gave me that Fire Emblem feel, but with the randomly generated stuff. Like I like that, so I'm like, this might actually be kind of cool. So we'll see.
Yeah, that was one that they showed on the last Direct or something, I believe, too, right? And it looks cool. I need to pick it up. I'll probably pick it up eventually, but the backlog is getting out of hand. Yeah. I still haven't even put Crash in my system.
Don't do that.
Just I mean, never at this point. Yeah,
you're smart. You're a smart man. Just leave it alone.
It's still the top of the charts in the UK. Every week they release another article saying Crash is still on the top of the charts. What?
I've got friends in the UK, and they have bad taste. It's really bad.
All right, Children of Morta. Early 2019. This one didn't do a whole lot for me.
Yeah, so. Not me either.
This one did. Everspace.
Yes.
December 2018. It looked like Rogue Squadron. I was like, I'm all about
conveniently,
this.
It's a roguelike, so
yeah.
As is every other game on this list.
That's the Star Fox Zero game we should have got. That game. Like when I played that, when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like this feels so good. Like I'm excited for this game. I cannot wait to get this game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. What was interesting is it wasn't just your typical like laser beams. It was like, no, I'm going to shoot lightning, or I'm going to shoot these giant plasma balls, or different things like that. So it looked good. The lighting looked good. Everything it was just like, man. I was actually looking up to see them, like, because the Factor 5 guys went on to create another studio that makes iPhone apps, and they got Hulu onto the Switch. So I'm like, is this the same team? Like, is this the guys? I can't remember the name of their current studio now, but I think it has the word fish in it. I'm just not sure. Anyway, next one on the list, The Gardens Between, comes out September 20th. Again, didn't really stand out to me.
No, nothing.
Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom.
Looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, man. It really just home run for me. Like I'm like day one. I'm buying it. No big deal.
Same with you?
Yeah,
Eric?
Kind of the same. It looked really cool. It looks like it has a ton of potential. I kind of want the cartoon version that they showed in the first section of the trailer. That'd be cool, but no, as the side-scrolling platformer, it looked really, really fun. So,
I think the only thing for me is I will wait to see if it gets a physical, because I waited on Wonder Boy and it panned out for me, and I eventually got Wonder Boy as a physical. So,
yeah, it's a gamble because any number of these could get a physical. You just never know. Especially
since a lot of it is UK based. And super rare games being out in the UK, it could be where they're going to hit on a lot of these guys.
Yeah. What did I see? And I don't know if this is from a limited run or super rare, or whatever. But Shadow Knight is getting a physical in 2019. So there's that. Moonlighter coming autumn 2018.
That game reminded me a lot of Zelda. Meaning like the dungeons and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I liked what I saw of it. I want to see more, but it definitely like piqued my interest for sure.
Yeah. Here's the one that I think everybody was kind of hopeful for, but we're all kind of unsure about now. Is Morphe's Law. Either of you guys pick it up right off the bat?
No, heck no. I don't think I'm going to. I don't see what's fun about that game. Like I'm trying to keep an open mind. It's a shooter. I generally like shooters. It just doesn't look fun. It's missing the fun. They took all the parts of a normal game and left out the fun.
The weird thing is like, okay, you get big when you. So I'm chasing somebody and I might not be able to run after them anymore because I'm too big. Like, what the hell's the point of that? So I got to get into this gate. What do I turn the gun on myself and start shooting myself to get down in? It's like weird. Just I don't know. Just it's not for me. It's not gonna happen.
Joe After Work is saying he did pick it up, but it's not good.
Joe After Work picks everything up. The dude
does.
is a madman.
He is.
So that doesn't surprise me at all.
He is.
And he loves to buy like bad games. So that's
Right.
hand in hand. I'm not shocked here.
Yeah. Well, you're in good company, Joe. I've bought some bad games recently. So, but yeah, I mean, I went and watched some streams to kind of see if, and even the streamers were like, this isn't worth the price of admission. Like there wasn't the depth there. You weren't unlocking stuff. It didn't seem like, I guess there's some masks or something, but they just, from the people that played it, they did not seem to really like it. They just, and I mean, again, I'm a huge shooter fan. When I saw this game initially, I was like, my initial reaction was when they first showed it, I was like, oh, a shooter, sweet. And then I saw people growing and limbs getting bigger and smaller and everything. And I was like, this is not for me.
The sad thing is I really want to like it. The developers seem awesome. That intro trailer, whatever, looked really entertaining. They made fun of themselves. It runs at 60-ish frames per second. Like they have a sense of humor. I want to like it, but the game doesn't look fun.
Right.
Yeah.
No. It's unfortunate. And maybe some updates down the road. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who knows? It made it onto the top.
A price drop, maybe I'll pick it up on a price drop. I mean, it's hard to say. It's what, $20? I think that's just outside of my I guess impulse buy range. That's just too much to impulse buy that.
Yeah.
Next up was Night Call, early 2019.
Interesting. It piqued my interest. Again, it's one of those games I want to see a little bit more of, but like the art style, and I gotta say for all these games, like the art style was unique on everything. Like there was a couple like I said, that garbage game, that Baba Is You, but the rest of them, like everything kind of stood out to like, hey, this is ingenious. Like this is the Nintendo way, where you grab something and you kind of make it kind of cool. So most of these games I felt had that vibe to it. So, and this was definitely one that gave like a weird, like artsy style to it. So I liked it.
Next on the list, Prison Architect.
Yes, I'm buying it day one. Yes. Well, I didn't buy it day one because it's out.
Yeah, I was gonna say day one.
Yeah, day one's yesterday. I'm going to get it this weekend. Let's put it that way. Okay. I want it this week.
All right.
It looks cool. I just want to build a prison and like beat prisoners up. That's all I want to do.
I thought this was so depressing. As soon as I saw this,
I want to cause prison riots every day. Like that's what I want. It's going to be awesome.
I was depressed watching this. I'm like, this is the saddest game ever. Like I'm like, it's like the worst scene in the Green Mile over and over again. Yeah. Like that's all this is.
It's like The Sims with prison. It's kind of cool. I like it. Yeah.
What'd you think, Eric?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn because it looks like it can have some fun. I need to watch videos and see how easy the building is, because normally you would play games like that back in the day, like SimCity, Roller Coaster Tycoon, games like that were all PC, really easy to control. So I need to watch more to see if building is actually really easy on the Joy-Cons. So
I guess for those of us really wanting Animal Crossing, this is what happens if you don't pay Nook back. This is
true.
This is your new job.
Prison,
like you
get abused. Yeah, I like it.
All right. Next was Slay the Spire. That one's 2019. That one pique either of you guys' interest at all?
Slay the Spire.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
And
was that the one? That wasn't the one. That wasn't the one that was like with time and stuff, right? Forward and backwards.
I don't remember all the names. There's so many of them. Like
Yeah, there was so many.
I'm just looking at the list, so it's hard for me to.
It might be. I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This.
That's the card game. Slay the Spire.
Yeah,
game.
I don't want that.
Game.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yes.
I'm out on that one. That's not gonna happen.
So people in my chat were like, "This is all," and I guess the game is really highly regarded on Steam and everything. Like it does really well. So.
Yeah, I'm not a huge card game virtual fan like Hearthstone and all that. Not for me. I'm sure it's for somebody and good for you. I hope you love it. I hope it's the best game ever. I just don't have much interest.
Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot for me either. Next was Streets of Rogue, because we need more Rogue light.
No, we don't need that. It you know what, man? It's kind of like that Hotline Miami, that escapist type art style. Just no.
I'm gonna go a different direction. I'm open to no, but it does. Some of those games have, like, Hotline Miami was fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
Streets of Rogue could be fun. The controls look kind of weird because you have a stylus on the screen, it looks like. So it may kind of feel like a twin stick shooter. If it does feel like a twin stick shooter, I might really enjoy that game.
It had the classic art style, right? You know, it had some of that stuff going for it. For me, just looking at it, seeing the gameplay, I feel like it's not what I feel like I want to play at this time. Right. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So, but who knows? We may check it out. It may be pretty good, but we'll just have to wait and see. You never know. Here it is, Terraria, coming 2019.
So the one thing I like about it is they didn't spend a lot of time on it. It was like, boom, here it is. Yep. You want it? We're done. We're off. We're moving. Yep. I did like that aspect of it. It'll sell like crazy. It'll do good for them. I think the thing that made me laugh was, it was like, of course this is coming. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, of course. Like, why didn't we see this coming? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, so it belongs on there. We'll get it.
Yeah, it's on the Wii U. It's on the 3DS.
It's everywhere. Yeah,
it'll be on the Switch. So, and I mean, it's a fun game. I've messed around in it. My son really wanted it. We bought it on Xbox and played together a little bit and stuff. I kind of was like, it wasn't really pulling me in. So I was just kind of like, okay, this is, whatever. I'm not going to turn this on by myself. But when he was like, no, let's play a game. Okay, show me what you got here. And it was like 2D Minecraft in a way. So
yeah,
he was into it.
Yeah.
Okay, This War of Mine, coming November 2018.
That's the one that looked really dark, and like, I liked it. I want to see more, but it was like a dark game, and I liked it. I liked the feel and the vibe of it when I watched it.
There was one scene in that game where they had a odd, misshapen Resident Evil umbrella in the top portion. I just happened to notice. So, it looks neat. It looks really cool. That'll probably be a purchase for me. I think that'll be, a day one purchase. Pending the price. If they're going to charge me full retail for it, I'll not day one that. But if it's in the typical $20, $15 indie range, that'll be a day one for me.
Yeah.
Joe After Work says this War of Mine is a must. So there you go. It's out on other consoles.
That means I'm not buying it because it's probably going to be bad.
Just out on there are no other consoles here. This is Nintendo Land.
All right.
There's no other consoles.
These next two are ones I'm pretty excited to play for the first time. I remember listening to some podcasts where they were saying they couldn't stop playing these games, and it's Windjammers coming out October 23rd and Windjammers 2 coming out 2019. So, do either of you guys know much about the history of this game? Is it like...
It's one of those quirky, weird games back in the day. I remember them bringing it out to PS4 last year. I think they announced it at PSX, and people freaked out about it.
Right.
They got all excited for it, and I was just sitting there like, what? Like, what? What's the excitement for? But it was kind of one of those games that, like, I guess the developer promised it, and people were like hanging their hat on it, just like because it was supposed to be a joke of some sorts, and it actually happened. So, but what I saw during the thing, I was like, dude, I actually want to play this. This actually looks kind of fun. Reminds me of like a dodgeball.
Yep.
Like a Pong type game, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like a foosball type thing where you're bouncing. Like air hockey is what I'm looking for, not foosball. Air hockey, like it gave me that vibe. So I was like, this might be something fun for a couple of games. We'll see.
Yeah, I know of the game. It was on Neo Geo, I think, and arcade before, but never played it. But
based on your outfit, are you in the game?
Yeah, I'm the lead character, as a matter of fact.
With those other glasses,
you definitely are.
It looks fun. They didn't show anything for Windjammers 2 other than some just like video, no gameplay or anything, right? So we have no idea what that's going to look like.
Yeah, it was like that total 80s vibe, right? Like I got a little bit of like T&C surf design, like that kind of just that vibe from it. And then the gameplay is probably going to be just like really, it's probably going to be super fun, but it's like, why didn't anybody think of this? It also kind of takes me to like some of those weird Nintendo games we used to get, like the Base Wars, where you'd play baseball as robots, and everything was just kind of over the top and goofy. So I don't know. Kind of looking forward to that. Next piece of news here: Diablo 3 coming this fall. I talked about it on the last episode a little bit, but I wanted to dig into it a little bit deeper. Here's what we know. It's going to be 960p, 60 frames a second docked, 720p, 60 frames a second handheld. Eric, I already kind of gave my impressions of what I thought about this. I want to hear your opinion on Diablo 3 coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I'll maybe get it. I don't know. I haven't played Diablo 3. I loved Diablo 2. Played them to death, but then I just kind of moved away from PC. And I just don't feel like those games are meant on consoles, so I never even attempted to play Diablo 3. That being said, I'll definitely pick it up. Who am I kidding? I'm going to pick it up. We're going to talk about it on here. The question really should be, am I going to play it? And I don't know that I'm ever going to get my money's worth out of it at this point.
We're gonna do hardcore races to see who can stay alive the longest. That's what we're gonna have some fun with
have you ever played a Diablo?
Nope.
I think I've got your number.
Yep.
Yeah. I played the living crud out of the first two Diablos. So, but yeah, I mean, it looks fun. The game looks good. It's only 960p docked. That's probably okay. That's fine. I mean, what more can you ask for? 1080?
You can, yeah.
You could, but
Guru, what do you think about this coming to the Switch?
Day one for me. I played it on PS4 for a little bit, but my problem was when I bought it on the PS4, it was long beyond the life when the game came out, so I couldn't get anybody to come play with me. But this one, I know it'll be very similar. Because it's launch, everybody will be playing it, everybody will be on it. So I can't wait. And I love like the Ganon stuff and all that. Like they're doing a lot of stuff to it. So I'm happy with it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely buying it day one. And because what I did play of it, I enjoyed. Cool. I just, like I said, I wanted to play with some friends and nobody had the game anymore and just couldn't get in to play it. So I'm all for it.
On the Diablo 3 website, there's a chicken. And if you click that chicken too many times, a whole bunch of chickens start like...
Oh, Nintendo fans know what the chicken means.
Yeah,
exactly.
You don't mess with the chickens.
Exactly.
You don't mess
But
with
do
the
Nintendo
chickens.
fans know about the cows in Diablo? That's the question.
Ooh. Is this...
I do not.
Pro
What's
tip
the
right now?
problem with cows?
Well, we'll talk about it later.
Oh.
There's
I won't
some
be here
rumors.
later. Come on. What the
Well,
hell's going
you got listeners. They don't know. So
that's
Benji in the chat says there is no cow level. There was a lot of debate. There was a cow level in the second Diablo.
What are
There's
we
a lot
talking
of debate. Yeah, the cows are important in Diablo. Look it up.
Okay.
Read about it.
Okay, fair enough.
There is no cow level.
Fair enough. So, the thing I keep hearing from a lot of people is $60 for a game that's $20. Now, everybody says it's $20, but it also has 2 expansions, right? And I didn't go in. I wanted to spend a little time and look up what it would cost me to buy this on Xbox right now with the 2 expansions. Is it $20 for everything? Are the expansions free, or like, I don't know. I wanted to do the research and I just ran out of time.
Look,
I Dream and Dolby says it comes with all the DLC, so the price is fair. So that's
that's the way it is right now at Nintendo. Like, it's the price you pay. You know what I mean? Like, it's new to Nintendo, so either you buy it or you don't.
And obviously, Blizzard spent money in getting it ported over to the Switch, so they have to make that money back somewhere.
Yeah.
So expecting them to give it away is unrealistic.
I do think it's going to be one of those games, though, that you will see go on sale, so that'll help, as opposed to like a Nintendo title. A Nintendo title is never going to go on sale, so it is what it is. Like Captain Toad is 40, whatever. Tropical Freeze will be forever before that game drops in price. Stuff like that. Like Hyrule Warriors, going to be forever before it drops in price. But
I don't know.
Like,
Skyrim's been out for 600 years and it's never gone on sale.
well, Bethesda's a little different. But
Somebody in my chat today said you could play Skyrim on a saltine cracker.
Yeah, it's the old. You could play it on stone tablets.
this is true.
It's the oldest game of all times.
Very true. Very true.
You guys are probably right. It's probably going to be one of those games that goes on sale. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to, like, nobody's forcing you to buy anything. Like, you just vote with your wallet, and if you want it bad enough, and you're gonna get, like, it's an ongoing debate of what is the value of a game. You know, like, is it a dollar an hour? If you get 60 hours, you know, you go to a movie for 2 hours and you spend $15. So if you spend 60 on a game and you get, you know, what, 6-8 hours of game time, is that the same? I don't know.
That's where I draw my line. So the price of entertainment is, you have to set that mark. What is your price for entertainment? I kind of gauge it on a movie. You're looking at, you know, $15 if you go during matinee, whatever that means anymore. You're looking at a little less. So let's say $6 an hour is the price for entertainment. Most games are going to get you there. So is it that big of a problem? Especially a game like Diablo. How many hundreds of thousands of hours can people sink into those?
And the thing for me is, the way I look at it is I go back to when I was a kid, right? So some of my greatest times, Tecmo Bowl, the original Mario Kart, playing the original Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 3, and all, those are the experiences where you're hanging out with your buddies, you're having a good time, and you're playing. We don't necessarily have that anymore, being older. Like, it's a little bit different, so it's more of an online thing. So for me, I look at it as, am I going to get my money's worth because am I playing with my friends? Is it something that I can jump online, play with the community, and they come and join me, and we have a good time? I feel like this game is one of those games that, like, you can have a lot of fun with everybody. And that's what, to me, that's where the value is. I think we probably look a little differently at value compared to, say, you know, a person that this is going to be the one game they buy for the month. Where with us, it's kind of like, well, what's the experience you're going to get online? What's the experience you're going to be able to play streaming it or whatever? So that's a little different for us. I think we look at it from a different animal and a different perspective. But I always try to look at everything in the terms of, like, is this the value of, if I was a kid, again, if I was 15 years old, would I be in love with this moment and this feel and this vibe? And that's the thing. Like, you look at a game like Fortnite, you look at a game like Splatoon 2, Mario Kart, like, those games are the games that give me that vibe. I look at this and I go, man, if I could jump in with 4 or 5 of my friends and just go off and do some crazy stuff, sign me up. And that's, to me, that's where the value comes in.
when we were kids, we had Nintendo Power, Game Pro. We had a few magazines and maybe a little bit of word of mouth. You could be so informed on your purchases now that it's like, it's pretty easy to decide if this is worth $60 to you. I know a lot of the backlash for Diablo comes from people that have already bought it, and they don't want to, and they don't, and it's not going to, your stuff's not going to carry over between that kind of stuff. As far as we haven't had anything confirmed anyway, and so that I know of.
I'm okay with that though. I mean, this is completely new to a lot of Nintendo fans. So someone coming over who spent 900 hours in the game and carrying all over their stuff can absolutely ruin the experience. That's what happened to me in the first Diablo. The first time I went on Blizzard.net, I got some guy who hacked the town and I got firewalled in my spawn and died, and he looted all my stuff. For years I remembered his name, just hoping I'd run into him again. It is sense. But I don't know how old I was when Diablo came out. It came out in 96. I was 11. So I'm 11-year-old kid running around so excited to play this new game that I had only played by myself for so long. I'm playing it online. I took the time to dial in and play online, and this jerk ruined it for me. Gotcha. I don't want other kids to experience that.
I see.
What was his name, please, so that way I can make sure if he shows up on the Switch, I'm safe.
I don't remember.
Was it Joe After Work?
I think it was Joe After Work. Yeah, it probably was. Probably makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. Okay. Gotcha.
So I Dream in Dolby says seasons start over anyway, so starting new on the Switch means nothing, right? So
okay. And
I mean, again, I'm clueless about this series. I'm excited to jump in for the first time. I'm sitting here saying take my money. So
yeah.
It's good. A couple other just game announcements, and then we do have a talking about. We're going long, so I hope you guys are okay with this. It's going to be a little bit longer of an episode, but I mean, there's been a lot of stuff this week. It's been a lot. So
it's good stuff.
Saints Row 3 coming to the Nintendo Switch next year. What? Saints Row 3?
Yeah, I know.
That was shocking.
It's the closest you're going to get to a Grand Theft Auto game. I remember there's like a dildo bat or something in this thing. It's insane. I'm sorry. I know it's family friendly. My apologies. I'm just saying. He's got to cut it out. His kids are like, what the heck's that? No, but the thing is but when you look at this game, right, it's so off the wall, off the rocker, like crazy nuts, like jumping out of planes and all this nonsense. Like, it's high adrenaline. Like, this game was a lot of fun. I think I played on the PS3, if I'm not mistaken. I'm ready, man. Sign me up. I'm all ready for this. Because that's the thing. I feel like if games like this succeed, we get more mature type games. And that helps Nintendo. That keeps Nintendo kind of on parallel with what Sony and Xbox is doing, while they're continuing to make the family friendly stuff. So it kind of gets Nintendo out of the kiddie house into the upper echelon, at least in terms of the hardcore fans and bringing some happiness to them. So, and a game like that successful, who knows? We might get a Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever brought over. So you never know.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I played 3. I think I played all 3 of these, and the first one was just a total clone of Grand Theft Auto. And then they kind of morphed into you having special abilities and stuff, which is what I believe happened in 3. Yeah. It's fun. I'll definitely pick it up. It seems like the perfect game for the Switch, and I just want GTA 5. I don't care if it's the PS3 port at this point.
That's
because
what I want. I'm with you.
It seems like the best game to have. I would buy it digitally, which I've been mostly physical, and I'll always have it on my Switch. And it's like, hey, I got 20 minutes to kill. Let me go do stupid stuff and have fun for 20 minutes.
I'm with you. 110%.
This will kind of fill that gap for a little while, I feel. So this gives Rockstar plenty of time to work on their port, get it right.
Yep. I'm with you.
Josh, what do you think?
Saints Row, I can take it or leave it. All I'm excited about is that THQ is putting more games on the Switch, and they just got the Time Splitters license. So I'm just get Time Splitters, baby. Let's go. Let's go. So, yeah. Next up, Telltale Games, Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 coming to the Switch So if you're into those games, a lot of people really like them. I've never.
One is fantastic. One is mind-blowing story, so gut-wrenching good. 2 is take or leave. But the thing with these games are, you have to. Why I'm excited about this is I want to play 3. I saw 3 is available now, season or episode 1. I'll wait till the whole thing is there before I go buying them. But what I like about this is if I buy all of them, right, and I play through them, the story carries. If you just jump into 3, you're gonna have to pick what you did in previous games, and that's not as fun. So it's nice that the story carries along. So what you've done in episode 1 affects how the game starts in episode 2, because there's characters in episode 2 that are in episode 1, and kind of how you portray with them carries on. So it's you need all that back history. So I'm excited that they brought this over. I'll definitely buy 1, 2, and the inner between, because there's also another one too that's in between 2 and 3. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm excited that Telltale's bringing more, because I want Batman season 2. Because I love the first one, so I'm hoping they bring the second one over too. But we'll see.
Yeah. This is for you, Hate. You ready, buddy? Luigi's Mansion 3DS coming October 12th. Coming to 3DS.
Yeah, the port that nobody asked for, and they completely missed the console. So I love Luigi's Mansion, so I shouldn't say nobody asked for it, but nobody asked for it on the 3DS. Like, come on, guys. They know what they're doing. Nintendo knows what they're doing, especially looking back at the Smash Direct we had, where they had Luigi's Castle to open it up. Like, come on. They know what they're doing. So, yes, the game looks cool. If you've never played Luigi's Mansion, Josh, you should definitely pick it up, Josh, and give it a shot, Josh.
Wait a minute. Wait. Are you kidding me? So you never beat Mario 64, and you never played Luigi's Mansion?
Dark Moon I have.
You know what else he hasn't played? Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4.
That's okay. Who cares about
Resident
Evil?
That Resident Evil 4 was the best Resident Evil.
Stop. Who cares about that?
Oh, killing me. Killing me.
Yeah, I've never played the first Luigi's Mansion. So, and I'm probably 3/4 of the way through the second one. So.
People swear up and down that this is the best. I like the second one. I like the second one probably a little bit better than the first one.
Dark Moon?
But yes, I like Dark Moon better than the original. But there's people that swear up and down like the original is the best. Okay. And you can beat it like in 45 minutes. Yeah. So it's not something like that. It's like Star Fox Zero garbage, like length. But you can beat it pretty quickly.
It got a lot of bad praise because people wanted a proper Mario with the launch of the GameCube.
Exactly.
And man, I remember getting that game, and I was one of those people too. I was like, Luigi, this is stupid. Then I played it, and I'm like, the lighting is insane. I've never seen better lighting in a game to that point. And Dark Moon definitely improved on everything they did. But Luigi's Mansion's it's a classic series now. You should definitely play it on 3DS October 12th.
After Mario 64, after I beat Bowser, the next game will be Luigi's Mansion.
In about 6 years, we'll talk to you.
No, it's we'll get there. We'll get there. We got
at the pace you're going.
Less than 30 stars.
It's only been 30 years, and you're just getting on the bandwagon. Okay.
I don't think Josh is 120ing Mario 64, right?
No way. He's just rolling credits, man. He's rolling credits, and he's like, "Okay, I'm out. See you later."
Hey, once you get 120, or is it over 100, you can go onto the roof.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. This is from 1996. If you haven't done it by now, you're not doing it.
Exactly.
All right.
Spoilers.
We have one talking point we're gonna get to.
Let's do it.
All right. This came from YouTube. YouTube comments, and it says, "Hi, N64 Josh. I'm wondering if I could put if you could put your input on this topic, what do you think about the future of third-party support on the Switch? With Doom Eternal being a big cornerstone supporting, I think this is mission punctuation, so a big cornerstone supporting the third-party games of the future, what do you think will become of third parties once the PS5 and new Xbox come out in a year or two, and the Switch will be a generation behind, not just one? Eric.
2 generations behind, not just one.
Yeah.
I think that will be... I'm not convinced. I think the PS5 and Xbox 7 come out 2 years from now. I don't think they come out in 2019. I think we're looking at 2020. I'd be surprised if I'm wrong there.
You're right.
By then, the Switch is going to have such an install base that I think you'd be crazy to ignore it. I mean, we're already at the... Didn't they hit the 20 million by now? That they were trying to hit?
Yeah, I think they're pretty close to it, yeah.
It was 19-something, the last recording.
Yeah. So they're going to hit 20 million soon if they haven't already and just haven't updated us.
Japanese analysts are actually saying that Nintendo is going to far... They're predicting it's going to far, like, overshoot their
I see it. Like, you know, the thing that the Switch is doing that Nintendo and no other console really has been able to do is they're recapturing the joy of gaming. People who haven't been gaming are now talking to me. I had a guy come into work today. He's like, "Hey, you know about the Switch, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." He's like, I want to buy one for my daughter. What games do you recommend?" And like stuff like this, just it was kind of going away a little bit. So if you're EA, if you're one of these big developers, you'd be crazy to turn your eyes or turn your back on the Switch 2 years from now. The install base is going to be, let's be optimistic, or let's be pessimistic and say 70 million. You know, 2 years from now, a ton of huge titles, a few more holidays, 70 million. I mean, are you really going to turn your back on 70 million consoles, you know, potential sales?
I don't even think that's the issue. I think we're beyond all this. Okay, so if we look at what we're getting right, the third-party games aren't these home runs. Doom Eternal will be the first one that's probably going to be day and date, if they can make it. Now, they have Panic Button working side by side with them to push it to make it be day and date. But at the end of the day, like, nothing's really coming day and date anyway. Everything's like probably 6 months behind or whatever. And it's not like we're getting everything anyway. Like, we're not going to get Red Dead Redemption or any of that stuff. So I think that the third-party games we're getting are good, but we're not getting the home runs anyway. The other thing, just exactly, I mean, Marcus Sellers just said we got a new console coming next year. So we're going to be, I mean, I think it's got 4K. We're good. No, but to be honest, to be serious, I believe that by the time we get PS5 and an Xbox, whatever, you'll have another iteration of this Switch, which will close the gap. That's the advantage. Where for Sony and Xbox to reiterate or to change, they have to go a whole new console cycle. They can reiterate like they did, but the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, they really didn't sell that well. So they're not going to want to do those half steps. Where Nintendo can make the advantage of, they can do a half step, and it's not really a half step, because they can sell us that new tablet. We throw our typical Joy-Cons on, and we're good. So we were talking about before the show, if I paid $300 for an upgraded tablet that was more powerful, I would have no problem with that at all. I don't think any of us would have a problem if they were like, hey, here you go, throw this on. This is a new tablet, more power, more RAM, all that stuff, because they also have a 20-year contract with NVIDIA. That 20-year contract means that they are going to do other iterations of this. We got how many iterations of the 3DS and the 2DS, and they're calling it the 2DS. It's really just a DS. You know what I mean? Like, so it's you look at all these iterations that we got of that thing, to think that we're not going to get more iterations of this, I think is a little foolish. So I think by the time we get these, we get upgraded consoles of the Switch, and I think the gap doesn't really. I don't think Nintendo allows that gap to get too far out. I think we will continue to get the third parties that we're getting and all that stuff. Plus, third parties are selling really, really well right now on the Switch. If that trend continues, like you said, if that trend continues and you have 70 million units in the locker, people are not going to turn a blind eye to that. That'd be crazy to do that. So I think they're okay.
And I've said it 1,000 times. The Switch is the perfect complementary system to a PC owner, a PS4 owner, an Xbox owner, because it's not. You might not want to buy all three of those. You may not say, "Well, I can't game on a PC, an Xbox, and a PS4," but you can game on one of those major platforms and a Switch. And if you're smart, you would probably main your Switch and leave the others, slowly behind. But
the one thing, a lot of people don't look at Steam essentially to be like part of the big three. Steam is kind of on its own thing, but Steam has been vibrant for years, and Nintendo is kind of stealing Steam's thunder a little bit with the indie world. So that alone, like if you're a fan of it, it's an indie machine through and through. So that alone, I think, also helps Nintendo, where people are like, hey, I'll just go get that, because why would I want to get a PC and PC game when I can actually buy a console and take it everywhere, rather than you can't take that PC with you anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, go on vacation, you can take it with you. So I think that helps Nintendo as well in that world. So I think they're going to be really good shape, honestly.
We know that Nintendo has always loved Apple's business model.
Yes.
And the Switch puts them in a place to start adapting that business model. And we're really seeing it. We're seeing it with indie titles. It's very much like the App Store, just not quite as organized. And and then all Nintendo has to do, in my opinion, to keep this to bridge that gap, is to put out a tablet that allows every game to hit 1080p 60 frames a second. I think once that is the norm for the Switch Pro or whatever, same Joy-Cons. I don't know how, we were talking about it before. What does that mean for the dock? I don't think we will ever see a Switch 4K, not at least not the second iteration, and it's due to storage. We've had this conversation a lot on the show, and I mean, what was it like? Halo 5 is 100 gigs.
Yeah, Forza 7, and whatever Forza they're on now.
And so we don't like, for a system that's portable and that can be docked. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of people that only play docked and want to have it 4K HDR. I know, Hate, you like playing that way a lot. I could see. I don't see that being a thing. I see them getting to the point that it is easier for Panic Button and the other company that is doing Diablo, their name escapes me, when they can start making it easier for them to get these day and date games. Of course, they're not going to be, we're going to have less textures, we're going to have the dynamic resolution, all that kind of stuff. But the way Nintendo did it is they put out a tablet that was, how dated was the Switch compared to other tablets on the market when it came out? So now when they come out in 2 years with a tablet that's technically already 2 years old, if you guys understand what I'm saying, it's cheaper tech, it's cheaper for them to put out. We can then, the consumer doesn't have to pay as much. I mean, look at iPhone comes out every year. The iPhone X was $1,100, right? So Nintendo's like, look, we're going to put out a system that can do just enough, and then we're going to do that again, but just enough is going to have people going 1080p 60. We're happy.
Well, here's the thing too, Josh. It's also a generation behind on NVIDIA. NVIDIA had their own tablet with the X1 or whatever. Like, it has a chipset that's stronger than the Switch, because that was the argument at first. Was like, well, which chipset is it going to be? It's going to be this or that, and then when it came out, everybody was all pissed off because it was like, well, that's not even the good chipset. Like, it can't do what it has to do. I'm floored every single time I see something hit the Switch, and I'm just like, how are they doing this? How are they doing? Doom was the first one. Like, I was blown away where I was just like, I cannot believe that this game looks as good as it does. And it's like, and then Wolfenstein, and in all these games, it's just, I'm floored by the ability. And then you get the garbage ones like WWE that they can't even run right. But like, for the most part,
THQ.
Switch has been done. Yeah. Switch has done a really good job with what they're doing. So I can't really complain. But like you said, yeah, this is not up to snuff, and they will constantly stay just a little bit behind on the tech, because it'll help them make money, and they'll just continue to make money, and they'll keep the.
Yeah, it's a brilliant business model. And I mean, speaking of Doom, I played it for 10 hours today. Like, I streamed it for 10 hours straight. I had 3 times that it slowed down, where there were so many enemies on screen. Other than that, multiple times people come into chat, this is on the Switch? Some people didn't know it was on the Switch. Some people were like, this looks this good on the Switch? I mean, the texture, I played it on Xbox One first. The textures aren't as good. The frame rate's 30.
Yeah.
It did not take away from my enjoyment of the game whatsoever. Like, whatsoever. And playing with the Pro controller for a first-person shooter, I love it. Like, I love the Pro controller. So
yeah, it's great.
I'm and Joe after work saying that the updates, and I am kind of glad I did wait for the updates, because they fixed some audio issues that were going on, because it was a little rough in a few departments. So, overall, the
first time I played Doom, I gotta tell you this. First time I played Doom, Joe was with me. I got invited to New York City to go this little thing right here, this Ojo projector. They brought me into New York City to see it and to check it out. And we're in an Italian restaurant, and we actually take it and throw it on the wall. And we're playing Doom in the restaurant on the wall. And I was like, this is insane, man. Like, I'm playing Doom in a restaurant, and there's people like sitting around us, like looking, and they were actually turning it down because it's so loud. And it's like, dude, this is nuts. It was the most coolest thing I ever did. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. You know how there's like weird like chanting and different like stuff going on in that game? Like, people in my chat were like, I'm so glad I'm using headphones today. Like, otherwise the office would have been filled with all these like weird demonic stuff. So anyway. Well, hey, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time with us, Nintendo Guru. Hey, tell us where we can find you and your billion shows you do each week.
Oh my God, dude. Go over to nintendoguru.com. That's the quickest and easiest way. Follow me on Twitter at Nintendo Gurus. I got like 5 or 6 podcasts I'm doing a week. A daily show that I'm doing news every single day, Monday through Friday. So it's a blast. It's been a blessing. Got so much support from the community. So I can't be. But guys, thank you for bringing me on. This is hands down one of the most entertaining and fun shows I've been on in a very long time. Yeah, better than the PMP podcast. So thank you so much. Probably gonna get kicked off that show, but no, seriously, I've had a lot of fun here. You guys are great, so thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for taking the time. Eric, where can people find you?
Twitter, Discord. Where else can people find me? Twitch, all at Hate Zero. If you want to join our Discord and have some of the most ridiculous conversations, please do. n64josh.com/discord. It is a good time.
It really is. We're really filling up with people playing Fortnite, Rocket League, Smash Bros. Now. Like, there's a lot of people are coming over from the Smash Bros. Cast to play, and like the community's growing and it's awesome. So come on in. Yeah. It's a good time. It's a safe place. Like, we don't put up with much. So if you don't behave, you don't stay. So come hang out. It's good. That's good. You guys can follow me on Twitter at N64Josh. You can follow this show at NPowercast. The show notes for this episode will be available at n64josh.com/NPC121. You can email the show. You got a question, comment, whatever, npc@n64josh.com. You can pick up a free book at Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up something like Console Wars. It's good stuff. The chair I'm sitting in from OPC. Go to n64josh.com/OPC to save yourself $10 at checkout. I do have a Patreon if you want to go check that out. It's patreon.com/n64josh. There's a number of tiers available. If you get an extra podcast, an extra vlog. You also have the opportunity to get limited edition t-shirts that I'm making. So you can check that out at patreon.com/n64josh. And I'm still putting up articles on the regular n64josh.com. Check out news articles there. I am streaming 5 days a week starting at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's crazy. We drink coffee and try to play games, and I usually don't have the right game in my I'm not in the right directory because I'm too groggy trying to get it going. But if you have a second, you can leave a review on iTunes. We're so close to having 200 reviews. I really want to hit that mark. So if you have a second and can do that, we'd really appreciate it. I do appreciate all the kind words and stuff that are on there already, so thank you guys for that. I want to say thanks to everybody that's hanging out live. Joe After Work, Shell Shock Prime. I saw Run Jump Stomp was in here. Let's see, I'm scrolling up. Mr. Cool, Red Luigi, Kirby Geek. Let's see, CB Nut Tree. Welcome to the party, guys. If you're just lurking, I see Benji. Just a bunch of names. I Dream and Dolby. Thank you guys for being here with us live. We really do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.